Hello, Virginia Annual Conference. My name is Andrew Ware, and I am a white, male, young adult clergy. I am the president of the Board of Communications for this annual conference, and I serve at Beech Grove United Methodist Church on the Coastal Virginia District. You know, as a local pastor, I am often confronted with the difficulties surrounding communications. And because of my role as both president of this board and my role as a local church pastor and communicator, I can see things from both sides of this equation. I can see how the conference communicates, how they genuinely and sincerely want to communicate as much as, if not all, of the information possible to our local clergy and churches. I also see it from a local church perspective where we struggle with communication, trying to make sure either all this information from the conference is being communicated or feeling that we are receiving all of the information from the annual conference. We can feel left out or inadequate when it comes to making sure that we are doing our jobs of making disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. We reflect many times in our local churches that it feels like the greater church, the denomination, is hiding something from us. We can feel like the Virginia Conference is hiding things, or we can even feel like the leadership of our local church is hiding things. This then forms a cynicism around communication, and we often get defensive when we feel we aren't hearing what we think we need to hear. However, one thing that I am learning, both in my position as president and again as a local pastor, is that individuals all over, whether it is an individual local church or parishioners within our churches across our connection, we get in what we put out. When it comes to the work of this board and our communication staff, we are doing our best to ensure we are using the most productive means available to cast as wide a net as possible when we convey information, when we provide resources, when we offer things to local clergy and churches as they seek to do the same. To begin, our staff and annual conference covenant to ensure that accurate information is getting to our local churches. But you see, the job does not end there, because communication is about more than just saying things. Communication is about receiving and then conveying them again. Because we care deeply that we can communicate across the spectrum of different communication means and avenues, and so the board hopes to provide resources to ensure that churches, pastors, lay leaders, and laity in general have the tools necessary to communicate with their congregations. Like many situations in the church, no one group, no one person, no one entity has all the tools or resources to communicate in every way possible. We work the best with what we have, and we want to help you work with the resources that you have at your disposal. As the board, we know that we can help guide you as you form effective communication strategies that fit your local context, both to receive news and to convey news and convey the message to transform the world as we all become disciples for Jesus Christ. The best place for us to begin, and for me to begin, is by noting that every clergy across the annual conference is given a conference email account. For you clergy listening, this is your @VAUMC account that you can access through Gmail. I encourage you to make sure you are checking them regularly, or you can find one of our guides on how to forward those emails to a different account that you use regularly. I say this because encapsulated in these email accounts is automatic and permanent registration to the weekly advocate emails with information from around our conference and connection. And then you will also receive further conference communications on many important matters from several of our conference leaders. Clergy are not the only ones who can receive these emails. Lay members, you can also subscribe to receive these emails and opt into them as well for your own personal email account if you head to the conference website. We also, as the Board of Communications, continue to work with companies like T-Mobile and Verizon to bring 5G business internet to many of our churches that otherwise might not be able to have accessible internet and wireless connection in our churches. By ensuring churches have an internet connection, a stable internet connection, We ensure that clergy have a way to receive this information that we are sending out from the conference, and even to expand the missional opportunities of these churches that often exist in areas with little to no internet accessibility. We are also able to be a source of support as we all become better communicators across the conference. Through our conference communications page, we offer a help form to work with a board member to answer specific questions about matters of communications. This will hopefully make struggles that churches go through concerning a variety of communication matters, such as live streaming, general communication, digital communication, social media, internet accessibility, and even websites or church web presence. Our board is here to help you find the right answers to your questions. In fact, even during the annual conference weekend, we invite you to stop by the communications table in the display area during the lunch hours, and we will have information surrounding and answering questions in many of these areas. We will also have members of the board there to help answer questions you may have, and hopefully set our conference up to be great communicators across God's kingdom. As I close, I want to invite you to consider your role in this communications endeavor we are all on. Again, no one person or group is responsible for all of the communications. We all must take our part to do our most effective work. The work of the conference communications staff and the board of communications can only go so far. And so we invite pastors, lay leaders, lay members to help us in all of this, to ensure that you are receiving conference communications, to ensure that you are conveying these messages, and to ensure that you have effective communication strategies in your churches to do with this information what needs to be done. I invite you to consider your role.